guys, today we are going to be talking about math curriculum and what we are using this year for math curriculum. And you definitely want to stay tuned to the end because there is going to be a fun giveaway. So look for those details at the end of this video. Now, math and homeschooling seem to be a difficult subject for homeschoolers. And I think the reason is that a lot of homeschoolers do not like math. I am not one of those people. I absolutely love math. And so I thought that the struggles that most homeschoolers face when teaching math would not affect me because I really excelled at math in school and I took advanced math through high school and then went on to do more math in college. So I thought when it came to teaching the concepts to my children, it would be easy. That was not what happened. My kids are quite good at math. However, the struggle of going through the lessons and teaching the concepts to my kids was a struggle. It was such a struggle. And what happened was my kids, instead of doing their math lesson in 15-20 minutes, were taking 4 hours to complete their lessons for the day. And that's not sustainable, especially when you have other subjects that you need to cover in your homeschool. And so although I really love the curriculum that we were using before, I was searching for something different. And so this year we are trying something completely new, and that is Teaching Textbooks 3.0, the online subscription version of their program. And we have been using it now for maybe about a month, maybe 5-6 weeks, and we are loving it so far. And it has just revolutionized how math is in our homeschool. Now, we are year-round homeschoolers, so when I say that we've been doing math for 5 or 6 weeks, it's because we started school at the beginning of July. So I know that a lot of you are not starting until September, so I'm hoping that this gives you some good information to make a decision on what you want to use in the fall. So Teaching Textbooks 3.0 is a totally online version of a math curriculum. Now, at first I was a little leery of that because I am definitely a pen and paper kind of girl, or pencil and paper if you're doing math, and I really wanted the opportunity to look at that computer program and see, well, is this going to work? I was a little concerned that it was going to be all... I didn't know how it would work. I really didn't know how it would work. And so I let my kids try it out, and they loved it. They were flying through the lessons, 10-15 minutes a day, which I can't even explain to you how amazing that is, because it had taken so long to get them to do math in previous years. So Teaching Textbooks, it is all online. You go to a website, you sign in. There is a parent portal and a student portal. So for the parent portal, it offers you a lot of options as far as seeing what your child is doing. It gives you the option to look ahead to lessons. You can print out the ebook of the lessons individually, or chapters of concepts that they're working on if you want to. There is an answer key that you can print out as well, or if you just want to look ahead to see what they're going to be covering, you can do that. It also allows you the option to turn on a second chance. So when a child is going through the problems, you can give them a second chance to try and do the problem correctly, which is super helpful, especially for my kids who are not used to entering numbers onto a computer for answers. And so when they do math, we've always done math, right to left. When we're doing like addition or long multiplication or whatnot, we write our numbers right to left. And so my kids took a couple of lessons for them to figure out how to turn the numbers around before they were entering the correct answers. It also allows you the option of adding hints for your kids. So if they are running into trouble, they can click a button and get a hint on the problem. Now, the thing that I really, really love about teaching textbooks is the gradebook. Now, in years past, we have used a curriculum where I would have to go through and see their work and see their answers and check them off to see if they were correct or not. So my kids often would go through and do their whole math lesson, and then I would come back and check it. But with teaching textbooks, when they are doing the problems, they are able to enter the answer and immediately get the feedback of whether or not it is correct, which is a great help because they know, oh, I did something wrong, I need to go back and try it again. And then if they still get it wrong, because I do allow my kids a second chance, they have the option to see what the answer is, how the problem is figured out, and they can move on from there. So that is such a help for me. And I think it's actually a help for my kids too, because there's a lot less back and forth. If they have a question about a problem, they're constantly coming to me, whereas this way they're able to try it a couple of times, get a hint, maybe watch the lecture over again because they can pause and rewind it, and it's less coming to me for help, which is really nice because I do have a 3-year-old and we are doing like preschool stuff with her, so it's nice to be able to let the kids take control of one area of their education and have it be pretty self-directed. Now, oh, and the other thing about the gradebook is that you can go in and you can delete problems and edit them. If you notice that your child is having a really hard time with a specific lesson, you can go back in, delete all of those problems, and go through it again with your child. Like I said, my kids are pretty good at math, and so they haven't really needed that, but I do like that that option is available. And I also really like that, you can tell them, okay, you just need to do the even numbered problems. You don't need to do all of the problems, which is what I remember from my school. We would often get homework, okay, you're going to do problems 1 through 10, or you're going to do, all the evens or all the odd problems, and the gradebook adjusts for that. So it grades them based on how many problems they do, not on how many problems are completed. So, if you only have them do 10 out of 20 problems, they're not going to grade you on 20 problems. They're only going to grade you on 10. And you can also, at the end of the year, print out that gradebook, which is great for portfolios or any sort of evaluation that you have to do for your state requirements. Some other parts of the parent portal are the subscription information. So the subscription is a 12-month subscription, which gives you plenty of time to complete the entire year's worth of work. Most kids are in school for 36 weeks, not for 52. So it also allows you the opportunity to pause your subscription. I think the lowest amount of time is a week. You have to do it for at least a week if you're going to pause your subscription. But that's really perfect for us. We are year-round homeschoolers, but we take a large break after Thanksgiving to the New Year, and so we're able to pause our subscription for those 5 weeks and not have to worry about the time ticking away and then, oh, we need to catch up. Now on the other side is the student portal, and my kids, I wasn't sure how they would do with the computer program. Like I said, I am a pencil and paper kind of person when it comes to math, but this works out really, really well. They each get to log in to their own profile, and it has all of their math information right there. They can access their gradebook. They can't edit it, but they can access it to see how they're doing. They are able to choose a buddy, which at first I wasn't sure if the kids would really care that much about a buddy. It's just a little like an avatar at the top of the screen that gives you little encouraging words and such, and noises and things like that. But they love the buddies. The buddies are like the highlight of the day, it seems like. And they will often go in and change their buddy and change their wallpaper, which is like the background of the portal for them, based on how they're feeling in the day. So they can change that. There are different buddies for each level of the curriculum. So I think that you get different ones depending on which level you are in, and you can turn on the sounds, and or you can turn them off too if that's a distraction for your kids. You can certainly have them turned off. But that it's really nice to have that little extra encouragement and just to see the little tricks that the buddies do. The kids really enjoy that. So when they go into their portal, they are able to choose the lesson that they're on, and then they will go to the lecture and listen to the lecture. They are able to pause it, to rewind it if they need to, or rewatch it if they don't understand it. And then they go through some practice problems and then the actual problems for the lesson. And it's really been wonderful. It's wonderful to see that instant feedback when they get an answer correct or if they don't get an answer correct. And if they don't get an answer correct, they are able to see how to find the answer. There is a detailed audio as well as a visual as to what the answer is and how to get to that answer. So all of this has been such an eye-opener for me, especially because I do enjoy math so much and I want my kids to enjoy it the way that I do. That's not to say that they're going to be mathematicians, but I don't want it to be a struggle for them. Part of the reason that I homeschool is to give them the freedom to pursue their own interests, but I know that there are some specific things that they still need to learn to become adults in the world. And I don't want it to be such a struggle for them. I want them to enjoy the majority of their education. Of course, there are going to be certain times when it's not as fun, but I don't want math to be a struggle for them. Now I'm going to put a walkthrough of the program for you to watch so you can get a better understanding of what is in the parent and student portals. When you get to the main teaching textbooks login page, you're going to first put in the parent email address. This is the email address that you use to register for your subscription. You're going to need that whether or not you're signing into the parent or student portal. Now this is the main parent homepage, and this is where you are going to do the bulk of your settings changes, or if you are going to print out and view student textbooks and answer keys, you could just come in here and look at their ebook, and you can print out information if you want to look ahead, or if you want your student to also have some paper while they're viewing their lesson, or if you're traveling and you want to take some school on the road, you can just click on the lesson and it will bring you right to the lesson. Also, this is sometimes good if you are doing a lot of longer math and your student doesn't want to write out all of the digits. They can print off a page of this and use this as scratch paper as well. Now, another setting that you have is to go in and change whether or not you want to offer hints and second chance to your students. If your student is having a difficult time trying to figure out a problem, they can get a hint. And also, if they are running into trouble and they want a second chance on a problem, they can get a second chance to type in the correct answer. I think that's important because sometimes my kids are moving too quickly and they enter the wrong answer, or perhaps they misunderstood the question. I want to give them the best chance to get the question right, and giving them the second chance is one of those ways to do that. Now you can also change the parent or student password. It also gives you an option to contact Teaching Textbooks for assistance. And then there's also the option to manage your subscription. So this allows you to go in and see the subscription is for 12 months, which gives you plenty of time to finish for the whole school year, but it also gives you 3 months of pause time. So for example, we are year-round homeschoolers, and so we end up taking off between Thanksgiving and New Year's usually. So for those 5 weeks, we will pause our subscription because we won't be doing math. So there's no need to keep the countdown clock going when we won't be doing math at all. And then we'll be able to come back in and start where we left off without worrying that we've taken too much time off and now we need to rush through the rest of the year of lessons. Now, the only caveat is that it has to be for at least 1 week, so you can't just turn it off for like a day or two if you're taking a long weekend. It has to be at least a week. My favorite part of this entire program is the gradebook. Now you can come in and you get a gradebook for each of your kids, whichever levels they're in. And you can come in and you can delete lessons, or you can go into lessons and see how the student did in that lesson. You can go and edit if you want to give them another chance at the problem. You can do that, and you can also see whether or not they viewed the solution and how many attempts they made at the problem. Now, one of the great things about Teaching Textbooks Gradebook is that it only grades you on the problems completed. So if you go through and you choose to have your child only do the even numbered problems, which is something that my teachers loved to do when I was in school, which I'm actually happy about, actually. You can just go in and the student will go through and answer the even problems, and that is what they will get graded on. They won't get graded on the problems that they have not completed. And then it allows you to print out the scores, which is perfect for end-of-year portfolios or evaluations that you may have, for any state requirements that you have. Now, this is all of the lessons at the bottom, but the quizzes are separate. So for you to look into the quizzes, you have to go to the quizzes section. Now I am going to log out of the parent portal, and we are going to go into the student portal instead. At the main page, they are able to also go into their ebook if they want to check out what they're going to be working on, or if they want to look back at something. All they need to do is click on that, and it brings up this index. It brings up this table of contents, and then they can just click on it, and it will bring them right to that lesson. Now, when they come to the main interface, the first thing that I want to bring your attention to is the settings. And this is where they get to choose their buddy and also the wallpaper, which is this pretty picture back here. And you can also choose whether to have the buddy sounds and hint sparkle and sounds on or off. My kids love the sounds, so we have them on. If your child gets distracted by the sounds or has some sensory issues, you could certainly turn those off, and then you won't have to deal with that. The other thing is the gradebook. So they are able to also go in and see how they are doing for each lesson and know that their progress, what they're doing well, what they're having trouble with, and you can even go into each lesson if they want to know exactly what they have been doing. Now when they come in, they will click on the lesson that they are on. You will tell them the lesson, and then you come in, you just click the lesson, and the first thing you're going to want to do is the lecture. The lecture is great because it allows you to pause it or rewind it or rewatch the whole thing if you want. And it's interactive, so they will be answering questions while the lecture is going on.
Lesson 13, multiplication. What if you have to add the number 3 7 times? What does that come out to? Go ahead and add it up. Good. Now, it's kind of a hassle adding up all those 3's. That's why most people don't do it that way, as you already know. They just multiply. 7 3's added together is the same as 7 times 3. And you learned that a long time ago. That's all.
So they go through and they will watch the entire lecture, which goes through, it asks you questions, it's very interactive, so the kids are staying right in tune with what's going on. And then you'll move into the practice problems.
You need to multiply 862 times 1 in your head.
So then they just enter the answer.
Awesome.
And it says that it's right. Now you have the option to see how to do it or not, and then just go on to the next problem.
You need to rewrite the expression 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 as a multiplication.
Now if they get it wrong,
nice try, but that's not it.
So they can either try the problem again, because we have the second chance turned on, or you can see the answer.
Click yes to see how to do it. All you have to do on this one is count the number of 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 8s that are added together, and that's the same as 6 times 8. So that's the answer to practice B.
And after a few practice problems, then they will move into the regular problems.
True or false? Multiplication is a really short way to write.
Exactly right.
True or false? You can multiply.
So when they are done with their problems, they can then go to the gradebook and they can see, so you see that they are able to come in and see which problems they got incorrect, whether a solution was viewed, how many times they attempted it, and what their score is. And this is the end of the walkthrough of teaching textbooks. So when you're trying to figure out what level your child is, they have really great placement tests on teaching textbooks. I will leave a link for that for you. And they have an amazing free trial where you get the first 15 lessons for free, and there's no time limit on that, and you are able to transfer that information over when you purchase your own subscription for teaching textbooks. They will just transfer all of that information. You can pick up with lesson 16 going forward. So teaching textbooks is graciously offering one of my viewers or readers a 1-year subscription to the level of your choice. And I think that is an awesome awesome way to start the year if you have your math curriculum all taken care of. You don't have to worry about it at all. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can leave a comment below. You can email me at hello@townsendhouse.com. I will leave a link for that as well. Or you can come on over to the blog and enter the giveaway and leave a comment on the blog post, which I go into more detail as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and again, if you do have any questions, please let me know, and don't forget to enter the giveaway. I will have a link below for that so that you can potentially get a year of teaching textbooks for yourself and your family. So thank you so much, and we will see you soon. Bye!